Junction Pool over here in Porterville. Yeah, we're over here. Got the head off this diesel. This Perkins 354. And I put a starter on it. And apparently, I think it's got a spun bearing or probably a broken rod or something. That's a full charge battery. It's been soaking with oil all night, but I think that was a waste of good. I think that was a waste of good free transmission fluid. So the head looks really good. Cylinders, I mean, they're got a rigid, it's burnt, but they're not rusted up. So we're actually gonna. Actually, it's on the computer for sale. Injectors are all good. I got all the parts here. So we're gonna stick it on here and see if somebody wants to rebuild it, or maybe needs a injection pump or the head, and we're just gonna try to sell the whole thing and see what happens. If not, I probably will pull the oil pan off and see what makes it tick under there. I don't actually have a particular use for this engine. Oh man, that head's heavy and sharp. I just slipped my finger. That ain't good. Yeah, that was nothing I should have been doing, but anyway, I think I'll quit hurting as soon as the pain goes away. Yeah, the head looks really good on this thing. Get all the bolts together and get the... I'm going to clean a spot over there and set it. So yeah, that's actually wasn't the issue being set up, which I kind of... It's the valve cover was so clean in there. You can get the... When you buy the piston, you get the sleeves right with this, but I know they call them something else. I can't think of what they call them, but if I had, I think the kit's like $1,100. Well, I don't have a project. If I had a truck or something, I was ready to drop it in and didn't have no other projects, it'd probably be something to mess with. But so as it stands right now, this project is a no-go. We stuck it on the computer, going to see what kind of price we can get out of it. I know diesel parts are expensive. Ended up putting 2 quarts of training fluid in there. There's all the valves. I'm going to get all this together before it gets lost and get it covered and wrapped up on a pallet, and I probably just set it upside down. The cylinders have already been oiled, and we took a bunch of rags and stuff, got most of the oil out when I pulled the head off, see what it looked like. And I kind of thought it was going to be fairly clean, so it's got to be a rod or something down there that let loose on it. So we bought this cherry picker, which will be handy anyway, but the main reason I bought it was to get this engine. Usually these come on combines and stuff. I think somebody has probably had this in a vehicle. The one time he told me that the guy put it in a brand new truck back in '75, but it burned oil. Well, I don't know about it burning oil. The exhaust looked fairly good. Didn't have oil running out of it, so maybe this ain't the motor he was thinking it was. But anyway, I just thought I'd do a kind of an update on it. And it ain't really that bad probably to rebuild this if a guy wants the motor. You don't worry about getting a board or anything. You just put new sleeves in it to whatever size pistons, I guess. So a bunch of the oily paper we used to soak that oil up in the rags there. So yeah, this is a parts project, or I'm going to see if we can sell it. It's on the computer as of right now, so we'll see what happens. You can't win them all, but I think we'll do all right on it. Even parts. I think we find somebody that needs some parts, we'll be good to go. I imagine there's a lot of them around, but anyway, thanks for stopping by Porterville. We'll find a project, even if it turns out to be a not so good project. Sometimes that happens. Goodbye now. Go find some junk.